From the dictators of Pakistan, let's talk about the last dictator of Europe, Alexander Lukashenko. Last year, Belarus witnessed a massive protest. Thousands of citizens wanted Lukashenko to step down. A campaign by the opposition snowballed into a movement. Now it has fizzled out. There is no one protesting on the streets of Belarus. More than 800 bloggers, presidential candidates, dissenters and protesters are behind bars. And Lukashenko is demonstrating his grip on power by sending fighter jets to arrest dissidents and hijack passenger planes. What happened to the opposition of Belarus? Earlier today, I spoke with Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, the face of the opposition of Belarus. She's living in exile in Lithuania. She spoke about Russia's support to Lukashenko, about America's lack of political will, and Europe's slow response. Well, she also spoke about India's role. Tsikhanouskaya believes India has a role to play in Belarus. She appealed to New Delhi to stop supporting what she calls a gangster president. Those are her words. Here's an excerpt from the conversation. Sviatlana Tsikhanouskaya, welcome to WION.
Hello, everyone.
In October last year, Russia put you on its wanted list. And at that time, you'd said that, and I'm quoting, you were in favor of inviting Putin as a mediator alongside other leaders. Do you still want Russian President Putin to be part of any future negotiations to facilitate democracy in Belarus?
Every side that can be mediator in these negotiations, but it should be negotiations not between regime and Europe or regime or the USA or regime and or Russia. It should be negotiations between regime and civil society with other with representatives of other countries who can sit at the same round table and be mediators.
And you know Russia's position vis-a-vis Alexander Lukashenko and the kind of support he gets from Moscow, and you still believe that Russia can be a fair and impartial arbiter in a negotiation like this?
In Kremlin, they understand that people's resistance will continue and continue and continue. And they understand that Lukashenko is becoming very expensive economically and politically for Kremlin. So we are not in contact with Kremlin. We haven't had any communication, but we send clear dialogue through media, through different leaders, that if Russia wants to play a constructive role in our country, they just have to stop or support Lukashenko and his regime.
You've also been banking on the support of the US, and back in July you'd said that with Biden's help, we will prevail. These are your words. But when you met with top American officials, you also asked them to be, quote unquote, braver and stronger in challenging the Lukashenko regime. Do you believe that American sanctions against the current regime have proven to be ineffective so far?
They wish to help us. But of course, as I had told already, toolbox is rather limited. And sometimes we see that, for example, Belarusian Democracy Act for Belarusian Democracy Act was adopted rather fast in the USA, but it's not implemented fully. There wasn't political will for implementing, and now after meeting, we see that the activity was rising in the USA. They are trying much more, to help civil society.
India, you would know, was one of the first countries to recognize Belarus as an independent country in 1991. Are you in touch with the government here in India? What role would you like New Delhi to play in the current situation in Belarus?
I know that India is one of the greatest democracies in the world. And, equality of women is a very important question for you. And it was so surprising for me then that, first of all, that India gave credentials to Lukashenko. Ambassador of India gave credentials to Lukashenko, and your representative in UN Security Council told that situation is stabilized in Belarus, normalized, and he was against sanctions, and he told that Europe shouldn't interfere into Belarusian question. But it's not about interfering; it's about democratic values that are important for India as well. You can't support gangster, you can't support criminal. it's the basis of any democracy. So India is, can be vocal, about situation. India can't say that, everything is okay in Belarus while thousands of people are being tortured in jails at the moment. And India should stop collaborating with the regime. India will not sacrifice a lot in this relation, but you will support the values. When values became lower than national interests. So that's why I really want India to be honest, first of all, to support what you are standing for: human rights, rule of law, and and democratic values.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.